Hey, hey, hey. It's, yeah. You already know who the fuck this is. It's the same person. It's my YouTube net. It's my new, it's my YouTube channel. I want it now. Um, no. So, okay. As an anarchist in America that, did shit with, like, food not bombs, was a union organizer, whatever the fuck. I've a topic. It's Henry Rollins. You know, so okay, I've only been to like three fucking concerts in my life. That's not important. The thing is like like okay, feeding the unhoused, punk, um, like whatever punk. Punk, I don't think is dead, right? But the thing is Henry Rollins was never fucking punk. Like, okay, hear me out. I'm gonna say something controversial, and if you're actually into like the punk scene or whatever, maybe this isn't that controversial. Black Flag is not actually punk. Don't kill the fucking messenger. I didn't make Henry Rollins a fucking liberal dumbass. And I don't mean that as in like, ooh, like, no. Politics aren't really that inherently like, dude, feed, clothe, and house your neighbors. It's not that fucking hard. And like, don't be a fucking loser and like, it's not that fucking hard, just be a good fucking person. But now Henry Rollins, okay, so it's not even that he has a political leaning or anything. It's just like you never see him. And it's kind of in the same way that like Killer Mike is like not radical because he fucking made a bank and has like a Jay-Z mindset, right? It's very much just philosophically like it's not even the commoditization of like their band or entity or whatever. It's none of that shit. Like, look, I have a fucking Cash App in my fucking like, bio. Like I get it. But the thing is that like he could have did a lot more and like the way it's the way he would use his image, especially like in the like more recent years, right? It's like he went from like it's like he went from like a band member that made music that wasn't even inherently about the system and the effects it had, and especially on the fact that it didn't even touch like anything that was non like PWI issues and just like fucking like cracker shit. It was a lot of like I have a fucking six pack and like TV and like shit like that. It never like went deeper philosophically, which is not punk. If you're just like let's get drunk and watch TV, that just sounds like fucking divorced dadcore. Right? Which is hear me out. I grew up with weapons defense contractor douchebag fucking abuser family members that weaponized said legal system of crackerdom on me, right? The thing is it's not even that. That's not related, but the thing is that dickhead loved Bad Religion, loved Black Flag. Would you ever hear him talk about Crass? No, the fuck you wouldn't. It's shit like that. It's very palatable to like even like conservative like edge lord like whatever types, right? And that is a red flag for Black Flag, ironically. You're not very punk. You know, like Kira, all of them, I don't fucking know. Look, I'm gonna be really fucking honest. I grew up on like mostly hip hop. Then I kinda like, I liked punk, but like the point being Henry fucking Rollins specifically not punk. I don't think ever was punk. I don't think Black Flag was ever really truly punk music. It had the sound, it didn't have the substance. Which, if you're really looking for something that is actually punk, you know, is absent. And it makes it really, like, people will say punk is dead, I think, for that reason. Because you have like the commoditized sound, you have the commoditized like look, you have all that shit, but you do not, at the end of the day, piss off like the weapons defense contractors. You don't say anything that is even less than neutral enough to philosophically make anyone think anywise other, which is the punk is not a look, and we can talk about the look and image of the scene that came from like Vivian Westwood, which is ultimately fucking not punk. Their storefront like sex, you know? Okay, maybe we can talk about that being kind of punk. But like the commoditized image of the look they were trying to sell, like Vivian Westwood, and how it trickled down into the subculture, inherently isn't even punk. So now what we need to even ask is, what the fuck even is punk? Was it ever a thing other than like a commoditized thing, like punk never technically was alive as a concept then, but then again, all like blah blah human conceptual bullshit, aside, like non existent technically anyways, you know, punk in itself in relation to Henry fucking Rollins and his ideas, viewpoints, and otherwise inherently is so morally and like substantively lacking that he is a fucking joke. And that's the thing. Henry Rollins will ironically roll around and be like, oh, like, blah, 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 like, be a political puppet for, like, the state and government that will turn around and, like, fucking harass minorities off of, like, shit he co-signs. And inherently either way, that's the thing. And I don't mean this particular statement in a weird way, but really, like, especially the cracker ass punk shit, like musicians, either way you co-sign, you're still co-signing a state that at the end of the day gets most of its funds from the death and destruction of especially like black and brown communities, like, you know, domestically, but like more violently so internationally. So then you have to question who the fuck you are at the end of the day when you're co-signing that shit. I'll say it straight up. Fuck the state, fuck America. I don't give a shit, Shithole country, dude. They fucking tortured me. They torture like fucking a lot of the people I know. Dude, I live in a town. You will not see a single anything other than some cracker ass like dude, that looks like the fucking Bush Light spokesman or some shit. Then you go to the fucking jail and it's just like, oh shit, there's the diversity. Like that's the thing, and you can tell people this and they don't give a shit, whatever. But in relation to Henry fucking Rollins, when you are co-signing that shit, that really any way you put it, because again, politics are not really fundamentally, I don't really think, at the end of the day, like a real thing. It's literally as easy as house your fucking neighbor, feed them and clothe them, help your community. Like, oh, you need a bridge. Okay, do you need a seventh quick trip? No, the fuck you don't. Go build the fucking bridge, you know? And even if, like, my hands don't work, but, you know, like, if you think that I can't, like, I have 15/20 vision, you know? I can, like, walk out there and at least literally look, I can contribute in some way. You know, that's the thing. But do you see Henry Rollins putting forth ideas other than very mainstream, weird ass, like for a punk identifying labelistic person, more or less? And like, you know, because you go on Spotify and you Google like punk music and that's like, poop, Black Flag. They're not punk. It's a commoditized sound and image with no substance. Is Nervous Breakdown good as fuck? Yes, it is. It is like, you know, like, whatever good. Yeah, I mean, did they make Police Story? Sure. You know, but even then, it's like, they've cycled through enough people, and then, you know, people can change and, you know, get co opted and shit, where it's like, it doesn't really matter. You know, you at a certain point in time, in 10 years, can be completely fucking different. You can just sell the fuck out tomorrow. The thing is like, see, personally, I don't know how this dude, you know, a real punk dude, if you're really out there doing actual shit that is actually like, you know, materialistically and otherwise, like, you know, like a thing that exposes you to shit that is inherently like, you know, like punk ideal in actuality philosophically, not image or reduced, commoditized, like, you know, like I don't know how you even place yourself in these scenes and then even ever parrot that kind of shit. You know, and like we can talk about like what he's like poisoning. I think it was like a lot of like, you know, like I think he's gone from done like gun control to whatever. And as someone who like grew up with military industrial complex people, sure. But the thing is even things like gun control, when you look at places like California in relation to like the Black Panthers and their gun laws were inherently racist. But that's the thing. If you are punk, then you will understand that these very surface level issues that you are vouching for on the behalf of the state power that will weaponize these issues when actually in effect to hurt marginalized and other people, you are not punk. And then again, did punk ever exist? Ever? Was it ever alive? Because people will say punk is dead. But again, are we putting the cart before the horse? That's my thing. I don't think Henry Rollins just isn't punk. You know, we can talk about like Crass maybe being like punk, but then again, like, is Vivian West, whatever the fuck, is Vivian's image of her fashion identity catered to a commoditized group that became a norm, even inherently punk in the first place? It's shit like that philosophically, you know, but at the end of the day, is Henry Rollins punk? Fuck no, he's not.